Hi everybody, this video here is going to discuss moving stops off of future routes and moving them into your current route. Now in Corerunning software, you can go ahead and route all your individual days. You can set up stack schedules, you can set up route templates for each one of those days. But what you can also do while you're working in your regular week, if you're working on one certain day, and let's say, you know what, I want to get ahead of my week, or I've got extra ice in the truck. What can I do? I want to pull stops off of future routes and move them into my current route. You can do that inside Corerunning software. The first thing I'm going to do here is one thing that I suggested in other videos, and this is what my personal preference was when I did my routing. This first filter here has to do with all auto-scheduled stops. All my auto-scheduled stops are on static template routes. Okay, so I've put in up to Wednesday, so I'm actually going to go into my Thursday too. I'm gonna get this filter all cleared out. So I'm gonna add more templates. I'll go to Friday as well. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so right now my scheduled filter is clear. So what that means is each individual day when I go to them, you can see here I've got routes. So basically I just inserted all my route templates for each day. Okay, so you can see here I've got all these routes all pre-set up, good to go. So if the world was perfect, then each one of those days we'd run those routes exactly like that. But there's nothing perfect about the ice business. We need flexibility in our routes. So, but before I move on, there's these different filters down here. We have our orders filter. These are the call-in orders. We have missed stops from previous days. But here's the one I want to focus on, this one right here. So let's say I'm working on my Monday route. Okay, let me publish what's going on here. So, and let's just say I'm working on Tony's route. And Tony's route, he's actually finished up all his stops, but he needs some more stops. So I happen to know that he's finishing up his route on BP East 152nd Street. That happens to be in the it's near the Collinwood Glenville area, and it's also near the Upper East Side. I happen to know this because obviously this is my old company and I know where all these stops are at. But he can also do some stops on the way home as well. So you can see here all the future routes that are set up for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are all in this future routed filter. It's taken them all, it's put them in here, it's separated by their different zones. So I want to be able to move some stops in there. But this is not. But you don't have to just work with this. We also have help from Route Vision, which there's more videos that are going to be discussing Route Vision. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to Route Vision. Let me show you what you can look at. Now it's helpful to have more than one computer screen. Okay, there's a lot going on in this filter right now. Let's clean this up. I don't want to see those. Okay, so what I want to see on the routes right here. Now first off, let's get to the right date. Around the 2nd. So here's the routes that we're working on for that particular day. And there's going to be more videos discussing Route Vision and the functionalities of it. But anyways, what I want to do over here is I want to say show me all the unrouted stops for the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. Okay, so these are showing me everything that needs to be done for the rest of the week. So if I'm trying to figure out, well, okay, what stops could I possibly do after this BP 152nd Street? Well, I can see by these dots right here where they're at. Here's the stops right there. I could add up any one of these stops. So let's go back to Route Builder. This gives me a vision of what stops are available to be done later in the week. So I'm going to go back into here, and like I was telling you before, I happen to know that there's stops in the Upper East Side that can be done. There's also stops Wycliffe, Painesville, whatever. So I'm actually just going to grab a few of these stops right here. I'm going to do this one, and this one. I just gave him 3 more stops to help him get rid of some of his ice. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and publish this. Okay, so now when I go over to my Route Vision, it's gonna update in about 42 seconds here, but the stops I gave him came up in this area. So watch what happens when I do a refresh. They just reordered with them. There's one of them right there, the Cleveland Metro Parks, Tony's, Convenient 115, and this one right here. Now these stops were set for later in the week. Okay, but now if I actually go to later in the week when these stops were supposed to be done, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, they're no longer going to be there. Let's see if I can find actually one of those stops so we can actually take a look at it. Yeah, it's probably actually this one right here. Yeah, it's up in the Cleveland-Collinwood area. So the stops were populated inside here. They're no longer there. Okay, so for instance, like this Dave's number 4, I'm gonna do this one as well. So Dave's number 4, I'm gonna want to move this one out. So if I go back to today, I'm gonna go to Tony's route, and I'm going to go to that Upper East Side again. Actually, Dave's 4 is not on that one. I think it's in the Collinwood. Nope, it's not. 1 second, please. Apologize, I'm getting a little rusty at being away from the company for us. So here's that Dave's number 4. I was showing it a second ago. It was on the Tuesday. I'm gonna just put it over here, and I'm gonna publish it. Okay, so now if I go to tomorrow for that same route, it's no longer there. Okay, so that's how you go about actually pulling stops from future routes and pulling them into current routes. As I was saying before, there's a lot of flexibility inside Cool Running software to be able to move stops around between routes. Prior to when I had this, what I used to have to do, we used to have, a long time ago, we used to have paper route sheets. And when guys were out there, I'd have route sheets for later. Every week I had to copy all the route sheets, and then I had to physically write into them all the changes that I was making on the fly. But obviously that was never a good system, because often you got busy and you got sidetracked and you forgot about something. With Cool Running, once you do it inside here, it takes care of it. If you pull a stop off a future route into current route, it sends it out to the guy and it's done. Okay, so that is pulling stuff off future routes inside the Route Builder. Any questions, just let us know.